All right. Welcome to the final webinar session for the 2022 series for administrators. The focus of today's webinar is imputed income reporting, where we'll give you some background information and resources that help ensure proper reporting. I am pleased to introduce today's presenter, Lorena Dema, Benefit Payments Manager with CPG's Benefits Policy Department. Welcome, Lorena.
Thank you for having me, Lisa.
You're welcome. It is our sincere hope that the information we provide to you today will assist you in your positions as employee benefit administrators and decision makers. All right, Lorena, I'm turning the webinar over to you. Take it away.
Thank you, Lisa. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for having me today, Lisa, and welcome. So as Lisa mentioned, my name is Lorena Dema. I am a manager. I lead the benefit payments team, which is part of the benefit policy department here at Church Venture Group. I've been with CPG for about 14 years now. I'm living my 15th year here, and I've been the lead to the imputed income reporting for 5 years now. So my team is basically in charge of calculating the imputed income reports and delivering them to you timely and accurately. So today there will be a refresher, I would say, training or understanding of imputed income reporting. Nothing much has changed since 2021. There is no new changes to the tax laws in regards to imputed income, but there is a slight change on how we provide the reports to you. So this is going to be very beneficial, especially if you are a new admin and are newly being trained with your goals and all of your tasks at the diocese or at the institution. So with that being said, we're going to take a look at the agenda for today. We are going to go over some definitions, right? What is imputed income? What do we do, why we do it, who does it affect, when and how? We're going to take a detailed look at the reports, the imputed income reports, what is the information that they have in them. Then we're going to talk about important timeframes and deadlines. And of course, we're going to discuss the method of delivery, which is MAP My Admin Portal. And then at the end, we're going to go through questions and discussions. Any questions that you may have, you can ask at the end of this presentation. Okay, so let's take a look at the first slide. So what exactly is imputed income? Imputed income is the value of the non-cash compensation that is taxable to the employee. Because this is a benefit provided in return for the performance of services, it must be included in your employee's Form W-2. The amount of imputed income related to the employer-provided group term life insurance is governed by the IRC Section 79 code that I have displayed here. A little bit of content here. All the information that you will see through this presentation applies to U.S. Participants only. There is a separate calculation for the Puerto Rico clergy and lay employees. So the information and the tax tables that I will show today apply to U.S. clergy only. Puerto Rico will receive information, but it's calculated separately. So what exactly does the IRC Section 79 table say? It requires all of the employers to calculate the taxable imputed income for employees that receive any group term life insurance that exceeds $50,000. So what this essentially means is that the first $50,000 of group term life insurance coverage is excluded from compensation. There is no tax consequences if the total amount of these policies is equal or less to $50,000. Any group term life insurance provided by one or more employers that exceeds $50,000 requires the calculation of taxable imputed income for the current year. So what I mean is 2022. We're reporting 2022 data. And of course, the amount of taxable imputed income must be reported on any current or former employee's Form W-2 each year. What I mean when I say former is any employee that has worked at your particular organization at a given time within 2022, if they incur imputed income, that must be reported on the W-2. All right, so moving on to the next slide. What are the church life and CPF forms of group term life insurance? We currently provide 3. I've listed them all here. The first one is the group term life insurance for all eligible participants in the clergy pension plan. This is also known as the 311 plan. All active clergy members who are eligible can receive life insurance coverage of up to $150,000. The calculation is based on their 6-time total assessable compensation for that maximum. And as well, in the clergy pension plan, all eligible retired clergy can receive life insurance coverage up to $50,000. And the way we calculate that is 6 times their highest average compensation. Moving on to the second form of group term life coverage, it's the employer provided group term life insurance. You might have heard 9G used as a term before, or the diocesan coverage. This depends from group to group. Each group can choose to purchase or not additional group term life coverage, and this coverage also can differ from group to group, but we also include it as part of the calculation of imputed income. And the third is the lay death benefit plan. Currently, all active lay participants in the lay DB plan are eligible for a death benefit that is calculated that is equal to the lesser of 2 times their participants' earnings, or $50,000. And because this is a benefit that is provided by CPF through a self-funded death benefit plan, is treated just like the other 2 group term life insurance coverages. And of course, the IRC section 7702J governs that, and therefore we consider it in the calculation of imputed income. All right, so these are the 3 types of policies that we use in the calculation of imputed income for the year. So how is imputed income calculated? The math behind it is basically really simple. What we use in the calculation first is the total amount of group term life insurance that exceeds $50,000. Of course, we take into consideration the employee's age. Age is very important because through knowing their age, we are able to determine what is the cost per month for $1,000 of coverage for this particular individual. And of course, we have to refer back to the IRC Section 79 rate chart, which, by the way, hasn't changed from 2021 to 2022. So we do have an example here. I use this every year. We have Father Income. He is aged 46. So we're going to try to calculate his imputed income. It's a very basic calculation. So this is an example, or this is the actual IRC Section 79 chart. If we notice for our particular example, our cleric is 46 years old. So his age band falls between 45 to 46. And the monthly cost per $1,000 worth of coverage is 15 cents. Right, so moving on. We are assuming that our cleric in our example has a total coverage of $150,000. Let's say he has the maximum for the 311 plan. And we know that the first 50,000 are excluded from the calculation, so we take that away. We are left with 100,000 relevant coverage amount. So what we know, right, we obtained from the table, the monthly rate per 1,000 is 15 cents. We are assuming that the cleric was employed for the entire year from January through December. So we multiply the 15 cents times 12 months, and we get $1.80, which is the annual rate per $1,000 worth of coverage. But we know that our cleric doesn't have $1,000 worth of coverage in excess of 50,000. He has 100,000. So there are 100 units of $1,000 in $100,000 worth of coverage. So we times that by $1.80, which was our annual rate, and we come up with $180, which is the imputed income total to be displayed on a particular diocese report. So this is the amount that we display. Of course, every situation is not that simple. We prorate it for clergy members who work for a portion of the year, or they have multiple employers. This calculation is not as straightforward, but we basically do the calculation for you. So moving on. As I mentioned, The imputed income amounts need to be reported on your employee's W-2. And imputed income is reported on Form W-2 for clergy member in boxes 1 and 12 with the code C. And this is not eligible for the clergy housing allowance, so it may be subject to CETA tax. In addition, for all of the lay employees, the amount must be included in boxes 3 and 5 and is also subject to FICA tax as well. So how do the imputed income reports look? This is a sample that I have displayed here. It basically tells you the title, it's Imputed Income Report for 2022. It has information up at the top, a little verbiage of if you have any questions, who to contact. There is a box that I monitor, imputedincome@cpg.org. There are the contact information of Client Services Department, which you can use to contact us. And of course, your report, right? It's an Excel file. It has detailed information about your employees, first, last name, last 4 digits of their social, their date of birth, the year and age. Of course, that is important because we use that to find the information, the rate information from the IRC Section 79 chart. And most importantly, the imputed income amount. I know that this version of the report is truncated here because I just wanted to display it as a sample for you. But towards the right of the report, there's a lot more information. You basically can see exactly the level of coverage that they have, the amount per month for the entire year. So it's split in between the 3 type of group term life coverages that we offer here at Church Pension Group. So basically the 311 plan, the diocesan coverage, and the lay death benefit plan. So it's very detailed. You are able to see how we derived to that calculation. Okay, so in a nutshell, as a reminder, please supply the imputed income amounts to the parishes in your diocese. So this report, I know that today it's not just diocesan administrators joining, it's also probably parish administrators. This report will be supplied to the diocese you are affiliated with, and then it's up to the diocesan administrator to distribute that report amongst the other parishes. Then parishes can include this amount in your employee's W-2. Just keep in mind the data is based on employees coverage through December 31st, so it's from January through December, whatever data we have on file. And because the data is compiled in early November, which allow us to report this report to be ready in December, we kept the information as of December. We assume that everything remains the same. So any changes that have been made after the December invoice, they must be adjusted using the IRC Section 79 chart separately. And of course, you're not without help. I'm going to display contact information where you can reach out if you are in that type of situation and you need help with the case. Don't be concerned. All right. So moving on to the next slide, put together a few information about the communications and the correspondence. There's going to be a few. Starting next week, we're going to send what we call a heads up email. We're basically letting all of you know that the imputed income reports will be available soon. It's a very short email, just as an FYI and heads up that this is coming your way. And as every year, imputed income reports will be available as of December the 1st via MAP, My Admin Portal, which is a new way of delivering those reports this year. We will also send an email when those reports are available on December the 1st, letting you know that they're now available for you to download. Please wait until that report to download the imputed income until we send that email so that you can download the 2022 report. As of right now, you can see the 2021 report. So once you send that email, you feel free to go ahead and map and download the report. And of course, together with that email, we will insert a summary of imputed income, exactly what it is, why we're doing, what's the tax laws that govern it. And of course, we're going to have our little example that I displayed here today. And in addition, the IRC Section 79 chart, which you can always refer back in case you have to make any necessary adjustments. And of course, in mid-December, we're planning to send letters. Letters go out to clergy members only. They are sent out via mail. There are currently 4 different types of letters that are being sent out. One is the active clergy member letter. We have no employer letter, meaning all the clergy members that are in between cures are paying for their own assessments, as well as the retiree letter for all clergy members who might have imputed income to report. And then lastly, we do have a letter for the Puerto Rico population, which is in Spanish. It's about 26 individuals that will receive that letter. They're all going out the second week in December. And of course, together with that will be a summary of imputed income. And we also provide a link to IRC Section 79 chart, which is listed in the letter as well. Okay. The next slide. So to reiterate, the report will be available on December the 1st. If you have any questions when you download these reports, feel free to reach out to me. You can contact our client service department at the numbers that you know. However, this is a dedicated email address just for imputed income questions. It's imputedincome@cpg.org. It's a box I manage. I try to answer them timely. More or less it's 24 to 48 hours, but I tend to answer much faster than that. So I will make sure that I keep an eye on the box as questions come in. But of course, you can certainly call the client service department to ask for me, or if you need immediate help on imputed income reporting. All right, so we spoke about how the reports are calculated, what goes into the report, but we also have a slide here about what's not included in the report. So I mentioned that any addition, changes to an employer list bill or terminations that are made after Tuesday, November the 1st for the December invoice, they're not part of the calculation. So basically, because this is such a short and condensed project here at CPG, when we derive the data in early November, we want to make it happen within 1 month, so we have it available for you in December, and you have enough time to use those amounts on the W-2 work that you do at the end of the year. But as I said, you still have our help. You can reach out and we will help you if there is any termination or any adjustments needed. And of course, if you have any additional group term life insurance benefits that are offered outside of those that we offer here at CPG are not included. So only information that we have here is calculated. Imputed income for non-CPS church life group term life insurance must be independently calculated, and then of course added to the amounts that we provide. I know it's not on the slide. However, I want to mention that during annual enrollment this year, there was a message displaying on imputed income. For members who had either an adult child over the age of 26 to enroll or a domestic partner, saying that the medical premiums of this kind of enrollment might incur imputed income. So I just want to know that if you have questions from your employees, this is just a warning message. Unfortunately, here at CPG, we do not calculate imputed income based on such medical premiums. That message, if it applies to any of your members, any of your employees, they can take it to their tax advisors and see if they fall under that category, or we also have tax consultants here at CPG. Nikon is going to help us with their contact information in the chat. You can also contact them for more information. But part of the calculation is only group term life coverage calculated, not medical premium. I just wanted to note that. I mentioned that what's new this year, the table didn't change. However, the way we access the reports have changed. We no longer use the GAW site or the MLPS. All reports will be available through MAP. So the way you access MAP is through CPG. You basically use your username and password, and then once you do that, you will get to your My Admin portal. Okay, at the top there is a reporting tab. You click on that. You will scroll down to institutional reports. And then once you get to that, you are able to view diocesan reports. And then once you click on that, you are able to see a list of your reports, and part of that list is the imputed income report. So you can click it there, and it will basically download an Excel file for you.
All
and I
right.
believe this is it.
Thanks, Lorena. So one last special thank you to all of the members of this webinar. We appreciate you for giving us some time in your busy schedules. Please do not forget to check back to the webinar webpage in the Administrators Resource Center and at cpg.org/ARC. And Naquan has provided that website in the chat. And a copy of the presentation in this recording will be added soon. And this will conclude today's webinar. Thank you so much.